What's up, everyone? Episode 4 of WandaVision just dropped on Disney+. It was certainly an interesting episode, so I figured I should talk about it. One quick disclaimer, this video will contain spoilers for the first 4 episodes of WandaVision, so do not watch if you haven't seen them and you intend to. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's a big help. Anyways, enjoy the video. So right off the bat, this episode is clearly different than the previous 3. This episode follows Monica Rambeau, who was the girl acting weird in episode 3. We learn that Westview, which is where Wanda is a strange town that you can't go to, and all the locals don't know anything about the town, and they're all acting weird. And a team of agents shows up outside the town to investigate what's happening, and Monica Rambeau's character gets sucked into this force field around the town. So that's how she gets into the show. So then after that, the girl from the Thor movies shows up. Darcy Lewis is her name. And she leads the team of investigators as they investigate what's going on with the town. And they have this big setup around it. And this episode really serves to fill in all the blanks that we've had from the first 3 episodes and answer all these questions that we've had so far. So we learned that the colored helicopter that Wanda picked up in episode 2 was a drone that was sent in by the team outside to try to make contact with the people inside. Also, so was the exterminator guy. And as the exterminator guy, he was originally in a hazmat suit. As he was crawling through the tunnels, his suit changed to the exterminator suit, which is kind of weird. We learned that the end shot from the previous 3 episodes was the girl from Thor watching the TV show as what's happening in Westview is being played to them on a sitcom format, as obviously that of what we've seen so far. We learned why Monica Rambeau was acting so weird, because obviously she's from the outside and she's very much aware of what's happening. And she was trying to kind of talk to Wanda, so that's why she was acting all weird and out of whack. And we learned that Vision is probably still dead, as I figured, as it briefly showed him dead before it quickly cut back, or it was edited for Wanda to show him normal again before Wanda got too suspicious. And we learned that the guy trying to talk to Wanda on the radio was Jimmy Woo, I think. He's from Ant-Man. The guy that was with the group, the agents in the episode. And there's still some questions left, like who is doing this to Wanda? Why are they doing this to Wanda? And does Wanda know about it? As well as, obviously, why is this a sitcom and why does it keep changing decades and all this weird stuff that's happening? And certainly setting up that I think there's going to be some form of villain that we're going to meet soon enough that's really controlling all this. We'll see, obviously, but I don't believe Wanda knows what's happening. I think someone's controlling her and trying to alter reality. Anyways, on to my review of the episode. So overall, I'm kind of mixed about this episode. It was certainly an entertaining episode, as it kind of filled in all the gaps and questions that we had from the first 3, as I mentioned earlier. But at the same time, I think this was kind of a lazy way to answer all the questions from the first 3 episodes. Just by having an episode dedicated to filling in all the gaps, I wasn't a big fan of that. Because really, this episode just kind of force-fed all this information to you, and it didn't really evolve the plot. It kind of just filled in all the backstory, and to be honest, I wasn't really a fan of what they did here. I think a better idea would have been if you kind of took this episode and divided it into 3 parts, and you kind of showed 10 minutes of it at the end of the first 3 episodes to kind of slowly fill in the gaps, but you're still keeping the intended confusion there. So while you're watching it, you are still kind of wondering what's happening, but you're slowly getting answers at the end of each episode, rather than just really give us no answers through the first 3 and then just give us all the answers in episode 4. Overall, I really felt this episode's whole purpose was to kind of keep the audience there. I'm sure they were kind of scared that people would get turned off if they weren't getting any answers for the show. So I think that's really what this one was intended to do. And like I said, I'm not a fan of that. I think it could have been done better, but it is what it is. But overall, I didn't hate the episode. In fact, I quite enjoyed the episode, as it had the usual MCU polish that you expect from them. And the answers that we did get weren't disappointing. I was just disappointed in the way we were given them. And certainly some of them were unexpected. I never would have guessed that the people outside trying to kind of talk to Wanda were that the people outside with like the hazmat suit and the people who surrounded Monica Rambeau at the end of episode 3, I never would have guessed that they're good guys and that they're on our side. Overall, I'm still really excited to see where this show goes next. It's maybe a little bit less excited than I was in the previous weeks, but certainly my excitement is still there. Many questions obviously still remain heading into the, was there like 6 or 8 episodes for this series? I'm not sure. I'm guessing 8, as is the usual for Disney Plus shows so far. But many questions still remain. Obviously, like, is Wanda aware of what's happening to her? To what extent does she know what's happening to her? Who's doing this to her? And the show seems to be like edited. Someone seems to be kind of like editing Wanda's reality, so Wanda doesn't realize the truth of what's happening to her. But I'm not sure. Obviously, I think there's going to be some big villain reveal. I don't know if it's going to be a villain we know, or it's just going to be some made-up MCU villain. Your guess is as good as mine, but we'll see where the next episode goes. I'm expecting episode 5 will kind of be back to normal. As I mentioned, I don't think this will be a trend with the series. I think this episode really served to fill in the gaps so far. And then next episode will be back to normal, probably an 80s episode. Go back to the formula that we've had for the first 3 episodes, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyways, that will do it for my review for episode 4 of WandaVision. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It's a big help. I'm new to YouTube. My channel is quite small, so it's always a big help. Anyways, thanks again, and have a great day.